Good morning, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm so pleased to have this time with you today because what I want to share could change the quality of your daily life or the life of someone you love. You see, as we grow older, sometimes one of the first things many people notice is that their legs don't feel as strong as they used to. Climbing stairs feels harder. Getting up from a chair takes more effort. Maybe you feel a little unsteady on your feet, and that can be frightening. But the wonderful news is our bodies are designed to heal, to repair, and to strengthen, even as we age. Now, the medical world often jumps straight to pills, surgeries, or complicated therapies. But I want to remind you, nature is powerful. Sometimes the body only needs the right materials and the right conditions to do what it does best. So let's talk about 3 simple vitamins, nutrients really, that can help you regain leg strength, often in just a matter of days. Sometimes, let's begin our journey strong, steady legs by talking about something so simple, 3 sometimes yet so overlooked in our modern world, and that is vitamin D. You know, when people come to me with stories of aching legs, weakness when they stand up, or that dreadful fear of falling, one of the first questions I ask is sometimes, how much sunshine do you get each day? Sometimes they look at me puzzled. They expect me to recommend a fancy supplement or a special procedure. But instead I ask about the sun, that glorious, sometimes free gift in the sky that we too often hide away from. You see, your body is an incredibly clever creation. Sometimes every single cell is programmed to do its job beautifully, but it needs the right ingredients. And vitamin D is one of the most essential ingredients for your bones and muscles to work properly. When I was a young woman, sometimes people spent so much more time outdoors. We worked in the garden, hung washing on the line, took long walks without worrying about where we'd get a bit of sun on our skin. But today, so many people spend their days indoors, watching TV, tapping away on computers, or sitting in nursing homes with heavy curtains drawn. Sometimes it's no wonder so many older people feel their legs growing weaker by the day. Without vitamin D, sometimes your muscles simply cannot contract as they should. Imagine trying to turn on a lamp when there's no electricity. That's exactly what your muscle fibers are like without vitamin D. Now, sometimes the first thing to understand is that vitamin D is not really a vitamin at all. It's a hormone precursor. Your body makes it when sunlight touches your bare skin. Isn't that marvelous? You don't even have to buy it. Nature provides it free of charge. When ultraviolet B rays hit your skin, a reaction happens that starts the process of making vitamin D3. This then gets processed by your liver and kidneys into its active form. And in that form, it does magical things. It helps your gut absorb calcium. It strengthens your bones. It boosts your immune system. And yes, it powers up your muscles. I'm able to have 3 sons. I remember one elderly gentleman who came to see me a few years ago. 3 sometimes. He was in his late 70s and complained bitterly that his legs just didn't have any strength. He was afraid to walk outside because he felt he might topple over. When I asked him how much sun he got, he laughed and said, "Sun? Oh, sometimes. I haven't been in the sun for years. My doctor told me to avoid it." Isn't that sad? We're able to have 3 sometimes. We've been taught to fear the very thing that helps our bodies stay strong. Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should bake yourself under the harsh midday sun for hours and risk a burn, not at all times, but moderate, sensible sun exposure is one of the greatest gifts you can give your body. So what did I advise that dear man? I told him to roll up his sleeves, take off his hat, and sit in the morning sun for 15 minutes each day. If it was winter, I told him to expose as much skin as was decently possible. Perhaps sit by a sunny window if the weather was too cold. And do you know what happened? Within 2 weeks, he came back with a smile as wide as the sky. "Barbara," he said, "my legs feel stronger already. I walked to the letterbox yesterday without my stick." That's the power of vitamin D. 3 sometimes. It works quickly because your body is starved for it. Now you may be wondering, how much sun is enough? Well, it depends on where you live, your skin colour, the time of year, and how much skin you expose. Generally, for most people, 10 to 30 minutes of midday sun on your face, arms sometimes, and legs a few times a week is enough to maintain healthy vitamin D levels. Of course, if you live in a very cold or cloudy climate, or if your skin is very dark, you may need a little more. And if you simply can't get enough sun, then yes, sometimes a good quality vitamin D3 supplement can help. But please remember, the sun is always the best source. The rays do more than just help you make vitamin D. They lift your mood, balance your hormones, and help regulate your sleep-wake cycle. Sometimes, isn't it wonderful how nature designed it all to work together? Now, some people say to me, "Barbara, my doctor checked my vitamin D and said it was normal." But did you know that the so-called normal range is often set far too low? Sometimes, many experts now believe that the minimum for strong bones and muscles is around 50 to 80 nanomoles per litre. But some labs still say that 30 is fine, 3 sometimes, and it isn't. Not if you want strong legs and a strong body. So if you've had your blood tested and it's at the lower end, don't settle for that. Aim for the higher range. It can make a world of difference. There are a few other things to keep in mind. Sometimes, if you're taking vitamin D supplements, always make sure you're getting enough vitamin K2 as well. Why? 3 times, because K2 tells calcium where to go in your body. Without K2, sometimes calcium can build up in the wrong places, like your arteries, instead of your bones and muscles where it's needed. Fermented foods like natto, some cheeses and free-range eggs are good sources of K2. And remember, good fats help you absorb vitamin D. So don't be afraid of healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, nuts, seeds and coconut oil. Sometimes these natural fats are not your enemy. They're your ally. I once met a lovely lady who was taking a big dose of vitamin D every day, but her levels barely budged. When I asked her about her diet, she said she was on a very low-fat diet because she was trying to lose weight. Well, I gently told her, without good fats, her body couldn't absorb that vitamin D properly. She added more healthy fats back in. And guess what? Her vitamin D levels climbed, her bones felt stronger, and she said her mood improved too. So you see, it's all connected. So shine, good food, healthy fats, they all work together. One more thing, you must move your body. Vitamin D helps your muscles work, but your muscles also need to be used. If you sit in a chair all day, your legs won't get stronger, no matter how much vitamin D you have, 3 sometimes. So use every chance you have to stand, stretch and walk. If you're able, 3 sometimes, go for a gentle walk in the morning sun. You'll be soaking up vitamin D and strengthening your legs at the same time. Sometimes, if walking is hard, even standing up and sitting down from your chair several times a day does wonders. Your body is like a machine. It needs to be used to stay strong. The old saying is true, use it or lose it. Sometimes I want you to remember something very important. Weak legs and frailty are not inevitable parts of aging. They're often signs that your body is missing something it needs. And in so many cases, that something is simply sunshine, nature's free medicine. So my dear friends, please don't shut yourselves away from the sun. Treat it with respect, of course. Don't burn, don't overdo it, but let it kiss your skin each day. Open your curtains wide. Sometimes sit in your garden if you have one. Take your morning cup of tea outside if you can. Sometimes your body will thank you for it. Your bones will thank you. And your legs will grow stronger step by step. I believe with all my heart that healing doesn't have to be complicated. Nature provides what we need. We just have to trust it sometimes and use it wisely. So tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, open your door, turn your face to the sky, and let the sun remind you that you are alive and you are designed to be strong at any age. May you walk tall, 3 sometimes, with steady legs and a joyful heart, and may you always remember the sun is your friend. When we talk about staying strong and steady on our feet as we age, there's another nutrient that I simply cannot leave out, and that is vitamin B12. If you're feeling tired all the time, if your legs feel like jelly when you stand up, or if you sometimes feel pins and needles in your feet or fingertips, then I want you to listen very carefully, because your body might be calling out for this vital nutrient. Vitamin B12 is one of nature's best gifts for your nerves and your energy. It's like the spark plug that keeps your engine running smoothly. Without enough B12, your nerves can't send messages properly. Your muscles can't respond as they should, and you feel it in your legs, in your balance, and in your confidence when you try to move about your day. I've seen so many people, especially older folk, who struggle for years with weakness in their legs, tingling feet, numbness, even memory fog, and nobody checks their B12. Or worse, it's checked, but the doctor says, you're within the normal range, when really their level is far too low for their body to thrive. Let me tell you about a lovely lady named Margaret. She came to one of my talks many years ago. She was in her late 60s and told me she'd started feeling unsteady on her feet. She'd tripped a few times and her family were getting worried. Her doctor told her it was just old age creeping in. But Margaret was a bright spark. She knew something wasn't right. When I asked her about her diet, I learned that Margaret had switched to a mostly vegetarian diet for health reasons. Nothing wrong with that. But she hadn't realized that B12 is found almost exclusively in animal foods. I suggested she get her B12 tested. When the results came back, it was just at the very bottom of the so-called normal range. But for many people, that's not enough. I encouraged Margaret to add in a good quality B12 supplement and include some organic eggs and a little fish in her meals if she was comfortable with that. 3 weeks later, she called me up, so excited she could hardly speak. Barbara, she said, I feel like someone switched the lights back on. My legs feel stronger. I'm walking more confidently, and I don't feel so wobbly when I stand up. I never tire of these stories. They prove what I always say. The body wants to heal. It just needs the right tools. So let's talk about what B12 does for you and why it's so important for strong legs and a steady gait. B12's main job is to help make red blood cells which carry oxygen all around your body. Without enough B12, you don't have enough healthy red blood cells and your body struggles to get oxygen to your muscles. That alone can make your legs feel heavy and tired. But there's more. B12 also helps make something called myelin. It's like the protective coating around your nerves, a bit like the plastic coating around electrical wires. If that coating gets damaged or thin because of low B12, the messages from your brain to your legs get scrambled or delayed. That's when people start feeling numbness, tingling, or weakness. Now here's where it gets really important for older people. As we age, our stomach produces less stomach acid. That acid is essential to release B12 from our food. So even if you're eating meat, eggs, or fish, you may not be absorbing the B12 properly. Some medications can make this worse, especially acid blockers that people take for heartburn, or the diabetes drug metformin. These drugs interfere with your body's ability to absorb B12, sometimes silently over years. That's why I always say, if you're over 50 or on any of these common medications, it's wise to check your B12 regularly. And not just the standard blood test. Sometimes people have normal blood B12, but still show signs of deficiency because the B12 isn't getting into their cells. A test for something called methylmalonic acid, or MMA, is often more accurate, but not every doctor will run it unless you ask. If your B12 is low, don't worry. The fix is simple and safe. Some people do very well with a high quality sublingual B12. That means it dissolves under your tongue and goes straight into your bloodstream, bypassing the stomach altogether. Others may need B12 injections for a while if their levels are very low or they have absorption problems. You don't have to stay on injections forever. Many people find that once their stores are built up, they can maintain healthy levels with diet and a simple supplement. Let's talk about food sources. The best natural sources of B12 are animal products, eggs, fish, poultry, red meat, and dairy. If you're eating these in moderation and your digestion is good, you should be getting some B12 every day. For vegetarians, eggs and dairy are helpful. For vegans, it's more challenging because plant foods don't naturally contain B12 in any meaningful amounts. Some foods, like nutritional yeast, are fortified with B12. But you must be sure you're eating enough and the B12 is the right form. That's why a supplement is usually wise for vegans. One thing I always remind people: quality matters. Choose free range eggs, wild caught fish, organic meats if you can find them. When animals are raised naturally, the nutrients in their meat and eggs are richer and better for your body. But B12 is not just about what you put in, it's also about how well your body absorbs it. That's why good digestion is key. Chew your food well, eat slowly. If you have low stomach acid, which many older people do, consider natural ways to support it, like sipping a little warm water with lemon before meals or adding a splash of apple cider vinegar to your salad dressing. These gentle remedies can help your stomach break down food and free up that precious B12. I want to share another story. A gentleman named George came to one of my retreats. He was a retired carpenter in his 70s, and he was deeply frustrated. He'd always been strong and active, but lately he felt exhausted. His legs felt weak, his hands were clumsy, and he was starting to feel depressed. His doctor told him it was just part of getting old. But George wasn't convinced. He knew something deeper was going on. After talking to him and learning about his diet and medications, including long-term acid blockers, I strongly suspected B12 was the missing piece. He got tested, and sure enough, his B12 was very low. He started on injections and added more eggs and fish to his meals. 6 weeks later, George was back on his feet, literally. His energy came roaring back. He started helping his son build a garden shed, something he thought he'd never have the strength for again. He said, "Barbara, I feel like myself again." These are the small miracles that happen when we give the body what it needs. I know some people worry about taking supplements. They ask Barbara, is it safe? Well, the good news is B12 is water soluble. That means your body takes what it needs and flushes out the rest. It's very difficult to overdose. Just make sure you choose the right form. Methylcobalamin is a good, active form that your body can use easily. If your doctor offers you cyanocobalamin, that's fine too, but methylcobalamin is closer to what your body uses naturally. And remember, B12 works best when you also eat a healthy, balanced diet full of fresh, whole foods. Lots of green vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes. They may not contain B12, but they nourish the rest of your body and support good digestion. Keep in mind, too, that stress can deplete your B vitamins faster. If you're caring for a loved one, worrying about money, or simply feeling lonely, that constant drip of stress uses up your B12 more quickly. So find small ways to care for your spirit as well as your body. Spend time in nature, breathe deeply, connect with friends. It all helps. And please move your body. Strong legs don't come from sitting in a chair all day. If you can, take a gentle walk after breakfast. Do some simple stretches. Practice standing on one leg for a few seconds while holding onto the kitchen bench. It helps your balance and uses those leg muscles that need the B12 to fire properly. Nature wants you to be strong. Your body is always trying to heal, to regenerate. And with B12, you're giving your nervous system the fuel it needs to do exactly that. So don't accept weakness in your legs as something you have to live with. Don't let anyone tell you it's just your age. Very often, it's your body whispering for help, and B12 might just be the answer. I hope you'll take this message to heart. Check your B12, feed your body well, absorb it properly, and keep moving. Your legs will thank you. Your mind will thank you. And you'll walk through life with more strength and confidence than you ever thought possible. May you always have strong steps and a clear mind, nourished by nature's simple gifts. And may you remember that healing is not complicated. It's as close as your next meal, your next breath of fresh air, and your next walk in the sunshine. Now that we've spoken about the sun's gift of vitamin D and the spark plug power of B12, let's turn to something I like to call the quiet miracle mineral, magnesium. If there's one mineral that could be called nature's great relaxer, it's magnesium. And yet, so many people don't even think about it. They know about calcium for bones, maybe iron for energy, but magnesium is often overlooked. And that's a pity, because it's involved in more than 300 reactions in your body. When someone tells me, Barbara, my legs cramp at night, or I get restless legs, or my muscles feel stiff and tired, the first thing I think of after hydration is magnesium. I remember a dear woman named Elsie who came to see me many years ago. She was 82 years old, sprightly in spirit, but troubled by constant muscle tightness in her legs. At night, the cramps would wake her up. She'd jump out of bed trying to walk them off. Some nights she got so exhausted she dreaded going to bed at all. She tried all sorts of painkillers, rubs and potions, but nothing helped for long. When I asked her how much magnesium she was getting, she looked at me blankly. Nobody had ever mentioned it. You see, magnesium helps your muscles both contract and relax properly. Without enough magnesium, your muscles stay tight and twitchy, like a rope that's always pulled too tight and never gets to loosen. That constant tension wears you out and it affects your strength. Your legs can't fire properly when they're too tight, and they can't rest and repair when you sleep if they're twitching all night. So if you want steady, strong legs, magnesium is your quiet but mighty helper. The sad truth is many people today are low in magnesium. Why? Because modern life drains it away. Our soils are depleted. Vegetables don't have as much magnesium as they did a century ago. Processed foods have almost none. And stress, caffeine, alcohol, and certain medications, like diuretics, all rob your body of magnesium faster than you can put it back. So even people who eat reasonably may not be getting enough for their muscles to work properly. Now, Elsie's story has a happy ending, but I'll tell you how we got there. First, we looked at her diet. I encouraged her to eat more magnesium-rich foods, dark green leafy vegetables like spinach and silver beet, nuts like almonds and cashews, seeds like pumpkin and sunflower, whole grains like oats and brown rice, and plenty of legumes like chickpeas and lentils. But diet alone wasn't enough for Elsie. She needed a bit more help. So I suggested something simple and beautiful, an Epsom salt foot bath. Do you know about Epsom salts? They're not really salt, they're magnesium sulfate. And your skin is very clever. It can absorb magnesium directly through the skin. When you soak your feet or your whole body in warm water with Epsom salts, the magnesium soaks into your tissues and goes right to work, calming your muscles and relaxing your nerves. So every night, Elsie made herself a lovely ritual. She filled a basin with warm water, added a good handful of Epsom salts, and soaked her feet while reading a book. Within a week, the cramps eased. Within a month, they were gone. She called it her magnesium miracle. Sometimes simple is best. Of course, you can also take magnesium as a supplement, and many people benefit greatly from that. But not all magnesium supplements are created equal. Some forms are better absorbed than others. Magnesium citrate and magnesium glycinate are gentle and well absorbed. Magnesium oxide, on the other hand, is not absorbed well by the body. But it does work as a laxative, so some people use it for that reason. The beautiful thing about magnesium is that your body knows what to do with it. If you take too much, your bowels will tell you. You might get loose stools, so you can adjust your dose easily. I always encourage people to spread their magnesium intake through the day, rather than taking a big dose all at once. It's gentler on your digestion and keeps a steady supply for your muscles and nerves to use. But let's not forget food first. Nature put magnesium in so many delicious foods, and they bring along other minerals and fiber too. A handful of raw nuts makes a wonderful snack. A big leafy salad with lots of dark greens is a blessing for your whole body. Even a piece of good dark chocolate has a bit of magnesium. A small square is a lovely treat, and your muscles might thank you for it. Another thing I remind people is that magnesium and calcium work hand in hand. Calcium helps muscles contract. Magnesium helps them relax. So if you're getting lots of calcium but not enough magnesium, your muscles can get stuck in a contracted state. Balance is everything. Many older folks are told to take calcium for their bones, but they're never told about magnesium. The two must be in harmony. Some experts say the ratio should be roughly 2 parts calcium to 1 part magnesium. So if you're taking 1,000 milligrams of calcium, make sure you're getting about 500 milligrams of magnesium from food and supplements combined. Hydration is also part of the story. Muscles need water to stay flexible. Dehydration makes cramps worse, so make sure you're sipping pure water throughout the day. Herbal teas count too. Peppermint, chamomile, nettle, all wonderful choices. Now, magnesium is not just for your muscles. It calms your whole nervous system. It can help you sleep better, ease anxiety, and support your heart rhythm. Many people tell me, "Barbara, I started magnesium for my leg cramps, but I sleep so much better now too." That's no surprise. Nature never works in isolation. When you nourish one part, you nourish the whole. If you've ever felt that awful restless legs feeling, that urge to move your legs when you're trying to fall asleep, magnesium can be your friend there too. Many people find that a warm bath with Epsom salts, a cup of magnesium, rich herbal tea like nettle or oat straw, and a magnesium supplement before bed makes all the difference. I had one gentleman, Trevor, who swore that magnesium gave him back his nights. He'd spent years kicking and twitching under the blankets, keeping his poor wife awake too. Once he added magnesium baths and a supplement to his routine. He said, "Barbara, my wife wants to thank you more than I do." I love stories like that, because they remind me how simple nature's answers can be when we trust them. If you want your legs strong and ready to carry you through your day, you must also use them. Magnesium supports muscle function, but your muscles must do their part too. Walk every day if you can, even if it's just around your garden or up and down your hallway. Do a few gentle squats, holding onto the kitchen bench for balance. Stand up from your chair without using your hands a few extra times a day. It's one of the best exercises for leg strength and balance. And as you move, your blood flow improves, which helps deliver that precious magnesium to your muscles. It's all connected. I want to share one more tip. If you struggle with digestive troubles that keep you from absorbing magnesium well, like IBS or Crohn's or certain medications, you may need to rely more on soaking methods and skin absorption. That's where Epsom salt baths and magnesium oil sprays shine. Magnesium oil isn't really an oil. It's magnesium chloride in water. You can spray it directly onto your legs and gently rub it in. Some people find it tingles a bit at first. That's usually a sign they're quite deficient. With regular use, that feeling fades. I know it might sound too simple, but often it's the simple things that work best. A handful of nuts, a big bowl of greens, a warm foot soak at night, a little more water in your day, a short walk in the sunshine, together. These tiny choices add up to stronger legs and a steadier body. So please don't accept tight, cramping, restless legs as your fate. Magnesium is here for you. Quiet, gentle, and powerful. Remember, your body is a masterpiece. It wants to heal, to be strong, to carry you through this life with grace. And sometimes all it asks for is that you listen to its whispers and respond with a handful of nuts, a soak in warm water, or a simple spray on your skin. May you rest well, move freely, and stand strong on legs nourished by nature's simplest gifts. And may you always remember true healing is not complicated. It's beautifully simple, waiting for you in your garden, your kitchen, your bath, and your gentle daily choices.